In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, taking a look at an even colder day of model runs where they even worsened the cold, more intense with it throughout the upcoming pattern, and have added additional snowfall threats. We still expect the North Central to see multiple threats of snowfall, but now we're going to be talking more about the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast in the snow realm as well for the early December timeframe, some early indications that that could be a risk. Now, before we dive into things, we have just added a lot of content to our Discord server for our standard and our Weather Lab members, where you can get early access to our December forecast that is out as of today and our final snowfall forecast for the winter of 2025 to 2026. Both of those are live. Join the server using the QR code in the top right or in the description or pinned comment down below using the link, and we can help you in the server navigate how to sign up. If you join the Weather Lab tier, which is our $10 tier, you will get access to all of our courses that we have built on the weather, and you will get everything that the standard members get. So that is something to consider. Both of those tiers will have access to all of this. And if you want to just join for free as well, like we've been saying every single day, the conversations have been really, really cool. We have a lot of content for the free members as well. So join today regardless and get in there and become a part of the conversation because it's so fun talking with all of you. Let's go ahead and dive into the upcoming pattern where we can see some ongoing snowfall for the Dakotas and Minnesota. There's some blizzard warnings out there as it's really windy and we have a ton of heavy snowfall coming down currently, and as we head overnight, that does move more into Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan as that low actually intensifies. And after this low moves through, the wind is going to be flowing from the northwest towards the southeast, and we will get a lot of lake effect snowfall going here for the Great Lakes as this colder air moves in for Thanksgiving and the lake effect snow is flying. It's a classic look for Thanksgiving. Ridge in the west, trough in the east, no way around it. The northwest dealing with some snowfall, so super cold conditions coming up for Thanksgiving, and that does last into Black Friday here on the 28th as well, with a new snow system for the northern Rockies and northern plains ongoing, and the lake effect snowfall is still going for the lakes, and as you can see, stretching into a lot of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast here as well. After that point for Saturday on the 29th, we have another snow system that we've been tracking, and we've been talking a lot about this in the Discord server. Everybody's going crazy about it and updating every single model run, so we're having a lot of discussions about the upcoming snowfall. We have a low here over Kansas and Missouri area. This will bring another thunderstorm and severe weather threat for the south central states into the deep south states, where we've had a current ongoing severe weather event, and we've been tracking tornadoes mostly yesterday and overnight. So far, there haven't been any really today, but still ongoing. That could change, and we have another event coming up this weekend, as we mentioned. Now, as we keep going towards Sunday here afternoon, we see the lakes are still getting some snowfall. That low does curve to the north, so mostly showers and thunderstorms underneath here for the Ohio Valley southward through Kentucky and Tennessee and into the deep south here. We do have still some snowfall for parts of the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. Also some snowfall happening here for the West Coast into portions of the Central Rockies there. As we reach Monday on the 1st, though, very different than what the models were originally thinking here for early December. We actually have colder air pouring back in again, maybe even colder than on Thanksgiving. Arctic air setting up. And we're going to be watching for the setup with our next winter storm as that southern jet gets involved here. As we take a look here at the day on Tuesday the 2nd, we again deal with a lot of storminess here across the deep south. It's very early to say. This is about 6 days out, 7 days out, something like that. We do have thunderstorms, it looks like, in the deep south, but it's hard to assess how much of a severe weather risk this would be, but potentially another risk of severe weather coming up for the deep south. Some snowfall, according to the European model, and here for Texas and Oklahoma, we can see as we move forward, we get snowfall here for parts of the Mid-Atlantic as a low slides underneath. We have a lot of cold up here in the northern plains and Midwest, as well as the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, so it would be plenty cold if we got a low there over the coastal Carolinas to produce some snowfall, maybe even coastal for the Northeast and New England. Definitely something to think about. This is far out. This isn't 10 days out, but it is beyond 7 days out, so this is still a really, really early model assessment. But look at this. As we look at the GFS model for this same time frame around the 2nd, 3rd of December, we have basically a similar look, a little colder and some snowfall going on for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast on that model as well. And by the way, just after Thanksgiving here, Saturday into Sunday, the GFS model also agrees for the upper Midwest and Great Lakes and Ohio Valley for snowfall coming down. So definitely some agreement for these two snow systems. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to happen, but worth noting. As we keep going, that system moves out, and it is rather minor to moderate, but still it is a snow system for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. And I always say, the specifics don't matter too much when we're talking about the long range, and it's true in this case as well. It could be stronger than that. It could be weaker than that. It could be warmer or colder or south or west or north or east, but we have a signal for a snow system perhaps. That is the big picture here, and we're going to track it from this point forward. We're going to be talking a lot about that in the Discord server as well, so if that concerns you or if that's something that you are curious about or excited for, definitely join in on the discussion again using those links in the description and pinned comment. As we keep going, we're left with cold air still for early December. We get more snowfall down perhaps for the Four Corner states and more southern plains, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. They're around the 5th. And as we keep going, perhaps another Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast signal. This is extremely far out though. The bigger picture here is cold in the east with storms moving through and potential snowfalls, the way to look at it. And we really just get colder from that point. I mean, looking at the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, which is really, really far out, so please take it with a grain of salt, but we're still dealing with really, really cold air around. It is also worth noting that this is a rather intense low in the Gulf. We've had these models showing weird activity in the Gulf. I wouldn't say that this is tropical activity, but this is just reminiscent of a weaker version of what the GFS was showing. Pretty crazy stuff there. Let's take a look at the total precipitation because we do have a decent amount for the Northwest, still below average, and then clearly this southern jet is controlling the flow of precipitation as we have a lot moving through there. At times it's getting further northward and we have some northern jet clippers moving through, and that's where these kind of combine and we get more activity moving through the north as well, but that's the general flow of things. So when we look at the anomalies, Great Lakes, Midwest above average, and then also for the South Central into the Deep South and Southeast above average, with most of the West below average by this point. A lot of the lower Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast are slightly below normal as well. That is the general idea here. Total snowfall in the European model through the model run is going to be a little underwhelming for the mountainous West. And I know that looks like a lot for those of you that don't live in the Rockies and the Cascades and stuff, but this is generally not that impressive for out there. But for the northern plains, upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast here, basically all of these areas, this is a snowy look. This is a snowy look, to say the least. It's not crazy here in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, but there is snow. And I know there's been a lot of periods over the last 10 years during winters where there's been no snow. So this is a step up from what we've dealt with a lot of the time. If a lot of this comes together, there's still some big question marks there. The GFS model, I'm going to switch it here. Look at how impressive this agreement is. Really not too different. We get some more southern snowfall for the Mid-Atlantic and maybe even some of Tennessee and Kentucky. But keep in mind, it's important to note the GFS model has this tendency to show things a little bit too far to the south. So I'm not saying that this is 100% not correct, but it's definitely worth noting that this might be a little bit too far south. There's a chance of that for sure. Mid-Atlantic and Northeast is a little bit less here than the European model. And look at the lakes. Tons of lake effect snowfall. Feet for some of these areas. Looking at the temperatures on the European model, we're warmer right now. Big cool down coming in for Thanksgiving and into Black Friday, as you can see. And that does last into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And before it even comes to an end, we have another cool down moving in for December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. We finally get a little milder there for a minute for the 6th, 7th, and then by the 8th, we have another massive cooldown, probably the most major of all three on the model run here today. So 3 major Arctic blasts on this particular model run. Overall warmer west, which as you guys know is a positive PNA, which really just steers all these cooldowns directly into the east. I cannot stress enough how much more optimistic for cold and snow these models look today versus 2 days ago. It has been a trend in the best direction for those of you that are looking for snowfall. Doesn't guarantee anything, but it's the best trends possible at this point. GFS model is going to agree. Warmer air, Arctic blast number 1, Arctic blast number 2, Arctic blast number 3, maybe even a 4th trying to move in there around the 10th, 11th. Although, again, take it with a grain of salt. That's extremely far out once we're looking beyond like the early December time frame and moving towards like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. That's when we get a little unsure, but these trends are wonderful. Looking at the ensemble models, I've been showing these daily as well. Here's the European ensemble model, and for the 27th through the 7th of December, this has continued to look colder. Not even a southeast ridge here overall. It is there at times, but looking at the 10-day period, it's not the predominant feature. The Arctic air is. And on the GFS ensemble model, same thing. So these are both also taking steps into the colder direction. And again, look out west. Positive PNA. Really, really dominant here on these ensemble models as well. This is all just really, really positive stuff for cold and snow. Trending in the right direction. Again, that's it for this video, but check out the Discord server. We are having discussions about all of this stuff, and if you want to just know more and, be looking at all 4 of the model runs throughout the day, because I only go through 1 during the videos, check that out. Description and pinned comment down below. We've had so many of you guys joining, and it's been so exciting, and I've had multiple people message me saying it's like the coolest thing. They've always wanted something like this, so it's making me really happy to see all of that feedback. Join today. You won't regret it. With all that stuff being said, be sure to subscribe. We upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.